All right, today is a quick video on how to hang things from a wall that you've installed Slate-ish on. The easiest way is to pre-drill through the tile and screw directly into a stud. But if you do not have an area where you can go into a stud, I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Got my trusty drill. Figure out where you're going to lay. Look at your wall area and decide what's centered or what's above an area that you want to be. Select your spot, and you're going to take a fairly small drill bit. You are going to drill through the tile. And you can see I've gone straight through the sheetrock. Our new friend here is this hook for hanging up to 50 pounds. So the joy of this is this goes into your wall cavity. You're going to point that holder straight up here. And you'll see I made my hole a little big so it'll move around. But once you hang weight on this, essentially what's happening is that back hook is pushing against the inside of the sheetrock, and this will hold up to 50 pounds. So if you want to hang a picture, a clock, types of things like that, up to 50 pounds, this is your easiest, simplest bet. The hard part about trying to do any other type of anchor is that you need to pre-drill through this hole, and stopping at just the Slate-ish is difficult. However, I'm going to go up here just a smidge, and we're going to talk about okay, so here's another option. If you have not installed your tile, but you know exactly where you want that hole to be because you know you're going to hang something from that area, you can mark your spot on your wall before you put your Slate-ish up. And then what you're going to do is, in the same way, you're going to pre-drill a hole into your Slate-ish this way. So we've got this in the right spot. We're going to glue this up when we're done with the hole. If you want to use a regular drywall anchor, you have to drill this hole first to the appropriate size before you put the tile up. Another option, instead of using the wire hanger, is to, before you even put the Slate-ish up, to put a drywall anchor in place. So the thing that's tricky about this is you just need to put the hole in the right place to begin with. You're not going to be able to move it. So obviously we've got plain wall area, and what I'm going to do is just figure out how high, where I want the middle of that hole to be. That's going to dictate, I guess, where this anchor is going to go. So I think this next row is going to be about here when I install that. So I'm just going to back this up, look at my level. I know it's going to be about there, but I want it to be right about that. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I am right about in the middle there. I'm going to drill this hole. And the hole just needs to be big enough to accommodate the screw that you're putting into the anchor. Okay. Make sure that that hole is big enough for your screw. You won't be able to go back and fix that later. The screw that I'm using for this is not quite big enough. I'm going to go through and open that up a little bit. And it looks like that will go. Okay, my screw will fit, so now the next step is to get this guy into place. Make sure that you're pretty centered. That looks great. And I'm going to take this anchor, and I'm going to make sure that that tip goes right in the middle. Okay, so when your anchor's in place, it is flush with the wall. When I get ready to glue this up, I just want to make sure, again, that I am centered there. And I'm going to be able to take my screw, and it's actually going to go into that anchor. So that's where your strength comes from, is the anchor, not the glue between the tile and the wall. Perfect for hanging. Get the appropriate anchor that will carry the weight you need for the thing that you're hanging. And you're going to have a little dust left over. Ta-da. So we have the two options for hanging. pre-drill a hole through the tile and the sheetrock. You can pre-drill a hole into your stud directly, or you can use an anchor, which you need to install before you put your tile on. So you've got a few options there depending on where you need to place your hanging system, and that should give you some flexibility. After the fact, after everything's done, if you're not sure where your studs are, this may be your best bet, and that will get you enough hanging power to hang up almost anything you need to over the Slate-ish. It'll look beautiful.